Hello, guys.
Hello.
Nice to see you again.
Yes.
We've seen each other 2 years ago, I think.
Yes, we did. And now I'm seeing you again.
Yes. So how the tour is going? Tell me, how's the tour? How's the cities? What's your favorite venue so far? How is it?
It's been great. For us, this has been, waiting in the pipeline for a long time. So it does feel great to be back. Felt very bizarre going to a different country, going to a city, soaking up the culture. First day was Paris, so we went straight to a bar and got beers and coffees and wines and all that stuff. We went to a wine shop and got some wine. We just turned into tourists.
What wine?
I don't even know what wine we got. Was it
red or white?
It was red.
It was red.
But it was from Bordeaux, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I think it's like
Medoc maybe.
Yeah,
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's meant to be nice, but we'll let you know. But less about the wine, more about the shows.
No, more about the wine.
Yeah, more about the wine. No, the gigs have been awesome. It's been so good to finally play these songs in front of people, So we've been spoilt, and it's been so good.
We were waiting for you last year, and you cancelled. Rightly so. So, how's touring taste after so long pause for you?
Brilliant, mate. I mean,
you've been waiting for that. You told us that you were waiting for going back to the tour bus. And
Yeah.
Sure, yeah. I mean, the whole experience has been nice. I mean, the mood in our camp is great. Everyone is having the best time. The crew's having a good time. Our tour manager and Andy Sweeney. Shout out to Andy Sweeney. He's on form. He's sort of. I think he's been rehearsing comic material, for the last 2 years. So he's stuff that he's blurting out.
The jokes don't stop. And then after he's had a few beers, he just repeats ones he's already said. And it's like when you're listening to your granddad, you pretend you haven't heard it before, but that's funny.
That's nice.
Yeah. So the mood has been. Joe's right. The mood's been really, really good, and it's just good to be back in our natural habitat: dressing rooms, tour buses, different cities. It feels good.
And you have time for yourself. You said Paris, but do you have some time in Warsaw?
Do you know what? It's not been too bad this tour.
We might be able to get out. It depends how many interviews we have today.
Yeah, it's people like you.
Sorry.
You should feel guilty. No, I'm joking. It's been nice this tour.
We've got out, haven't we? We've been seeing stuff.
Yeah, we went out in Vienna. We've done a few of the German shows. We went out.
Milan.
Milan was awesome.
Yeah.
And it's kind of cool because not many people get that opportunity to go from one city to the next and do all this stuff. So
I do feel very lucky at the moment because for so many people just want to travel in general, and we're getting to see so many places one after the other. So that's a perk of the job.
Yeah,
for sure,
definitely.
You've always been vocal about politics and about human rights and so on, and you talked about Trump's America and climate change, and you were one of the first bands that cancelled your tour in Russia and Belarus. So, and you've written some touching words to Ukrainians. We have spent so much time in Ukraine and feel connected to you. How do you feel now?
Well, it's obviously still devastating. I mean, Joe and I were
connected to Ukraine.
We've always had a huge relationship with the fans in Ukraine and the fans in Russia and the fans in Belarus. I mean, the hardest thing is feeling like you're punishing the wrong people when you cancel those shows. But obviously, it's not safe. And until the situation is somewhat resolved,
you can't be giving money to Russia and stuff. You can't be giving promotions. So you have to do it. We have no choice. And although we feel terrible about cancelling our Ukrainian shows, and it feels weird talking about music in this context in some ways as well. It's who cares?
I know, but you've shot your Amsterdam video in Ukraine in 2017, So could you share some memories about that? Do you remember some abandoned warehouse and so on?
Yeah, I mean, actually, we had the sort of benefit of working with a lot of the local Ukrainian film crew, and they were just some of the nicest people we've ever worked with. We do a lot of videos in London, and people quite stone-faced and they don't give you much, but they were so warm, and it reminded me that it's not just the fans at the gig that are like that. It's a whole nation of open, friendly, warm people. So that's why it makes this even harder.
And which town was it?
In Kiev. Yeah. So
it's weird because I recognise parts of it, and it's hard. We've met a few Ukrainian fans on this tour actually that have been able to come over. I mean, one amazing thing that's this was incredible. We met a fan from Germany the other day, and she has taken in 2 Ukrainian fans, and they live with her now, and that's been. I mean, that was so cool to see that like they've connected through the fan base, and then that has actually really helped like those 2 people. So,
well, I've seen you've made some wonderful gestures for Ukraine, so I think they're touched.
Yeah, I mean, like Joe said, music does feel like a very small thing in this bigger, wider issue. But you know, if the band or the music can connect people in any way, that is just a small bit of positivity within a dark situation, I guess.
As we talked to you 2 years ago about during the Moral Panic premiere, how perspective will change. You have written your song before pandemic, and then social media frenzy and disinformation, so on, and coronavirus hit, and your record became right music in the right time.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people were asking Joe if he had a crystal ball because we released Is Everybody Going Crazy? And that same week, it wasn't just the same month or whatever, it was the same week everything shut. And
I remember playing that in the radio, and it was like astonishing because I knew that it was recorded earlier.
Yeah, and written, a year earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was, I don't know, Joe had some weird premonition or something, but that obviously resonated with people, and I think the whole album did. This whole global tension and pressure, frustration, whatever you want to call it, was just like connected and did. It was, everyone was feeling it. So
I think the thing I was like trying to get at within the album, and that sort of general pressure, was exacerbated by like 10 times, 100 times, 50,000 times by the pandemic. So a lot of people said like, "Oh, that's their record of, coronavirus." Yeah. We'll say I don't know if that's a good thing or not yet.
Yeah.
And you ready for new times, new music?
We're always ready for new times, new music. I mean, we need new times.
Some new premonitions.
Yeah. What's next, Joe?
Well,
alien invasion.
Yeah.
No.
I'm a little bit scared because
when the music does come out, remember that question.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit scared because when we talked with Tom, you started your lockdown. You were like one day before lockdown, and today we're talking, and it's war in Ukraine. So I'm a little bit worried about our next meeting.
No, it has to get better.
We had to stop meeting like this.
I know. It's this. No, do you know what? We've been writing a lot of music, and I think the content matter and the sound of it is quite a departure, right, from Moral Panic. It feels like a new thing for us, and
felt like we did a lot of Moral Panic, and because we did the first part, we couldn't tour the first album, the Moral Panic Part 1. So when we were writing music, it had to be Moral Panic 2 because we hadn't finished, we hadn't started, we hadn't toured. So now we've a lot of Moral Panic material. There's like 16 songs plus all the other stuff we did. So this is definitely like I think that's finished, and then the next music we do will be a left turn.
I think your speciality is presence for fans, like orchestral version of Impossible at the Abbey Road. I was really jealous when I saw that because it was my dream to go there. And Sorry with Bucharest, Sorry with fans, and then Real Love Song with Bucharest Orchestra. Yeah. So are you preparing something new for the fans now? Have you some presents? Maybe tour with orchestral arrangement? Please do that.
Do you know, we're always thinking of ways to mix it up. It's not only interesting for the fans, but it's interesting for us. It gives us so many, so much creative freedom. That Abbey Road one, for example, was like, not only is that studio is a dream come true, and not many people get to set foot in it, and the history is just steeped in it, and then also the fact that you get to work with the best string and brass players, in the UK was like, a bit mind blowing for us. So any opportunity we get to do that, we take it.
We're not the sort of band that's just like, okay, you release an album, you tour the album, release that. Like it's boring. I don't know why you would do that as well, because there's so much stuff you can do now.
I know. But you're preparing some collaborations, maybe? Do you have some plans or wish list?
Do you know what? We aren't...
Lin-Manuel Miranda, John Batiste, maybe some music.
Wow.
Yeah. I like these ideas.
Yeah.
We haven't done loads of collaborations. When we've felt like the music is right, we do it. Maybe there'll be more of that. I think, it's fair to say the next album will probably be, more traditional us, not many features or anything. But outside of albums, that's something where we explore that a little bit more. So until those songs are fully written, it's hard to tell, but we're always open to it.
When is next album?
I wish I knew, and I can see the way you're looking at me. You're like, give me the answer. We actually don't know.
No.
And you know, Joe and I, Connor too, we're always writing music, and there's a lot of stuff saved up. But
I say the direction is there now. Half the battle, you write a load of songs, and then around halfway through the process, you get the direction. We have that now. So.
Okay. Last question. So you have some. I've read some advice that Mark Bellamy had for Connor, for the touring, that singer needs to eat well, drink well, and exercise. Be boring one on the tour. You all boring ones, or?
Do you know what
The wild card?
we're not all boring. No, Connor, look, it's amazing how he does it. The fact that he has such discipline and dedication with a voice as delicate as his, you know, he's obviously learned the hard way. He's had a few drinks and been like, I can't sing like this. So that's why he's the first one to bed and has like his ginger and lemon honey teas and all that stuff. The rest of us have a few drinks, but to be honest, we're getting older. The job's getting harder. We want to get better and better and better. We don't do anything to sacrifice that. So
that is part of it. It's getting serious now. There are a lot of people to disappoint. That's the issue. Like, we have a good time. Like, we have a good time.
Yeah, we do have a good time.
But yeah, you can't.
You draw the line, right?
Yeah, there's no way I'm coming to Poland and playing to 4,000 people and like messing it up.
Remember, it's my.
And it's your first.
That's the main reason. Yeah. I'm scared to disappoint you. I'm actually scared. Yeah.
Okay, thank you guys, and have a wonderful concert today.
Thank you.